Hello friends, I am OmnusI, here once more in my Lair of OmnusI, and I am here to answer another question by the RPG Brigade, a Facebook group dedicated to sharing stories and our love of the hobby of role-playing games, much like Dungeons & Dragons, Vampire the Masquerade, Shadowrun, many others. For those of you who don't play these games, maybe this is a window into why we care about our games so much. For those of you who do enjoy these games, we hope you take some measure of entertainment out of our stories. But today, the question at hand for the 5th of August is, what is your favorite recurring NPC? NPC is non-player character in a role-playing game. The players all play a character, much like in a story. Your major characters are going to be the ones mostly influencing and driving the plot, but they're surrounded constantly by other people that are not controlled by the NPCs, that are mostly there for them to react off of. Those are non-player characters, and that also encompasses monsters, that encompasses shopkeepers, day-to-day folk in the streets, kings, every step in society, anybody the characters may talk to, that's a non-player character. And oftentimes it is a conceit in these role-playing games that we recycle characters that we enjoy. We have characters that always seem to pop up again. If you've ever played role-playing games in a video game form, many of them will have a character that constantly just pops up, and I think Dark Souls had a character like the Traveling Merchant. It'd be the same guy. He'd just keep popping up in different eras of this horrible world, and, oh, you want to buy something? I'm here. So it's not unique to role-playing games, but it is something that many of us do. And I'll first admit that I'm not particularly guilty of using recurring NPCs often. I find that relying on recycling characters tends to weaken your story. If the players just kind of mentally keep track that, yes, I've seen this person in 3 different chronicles, they know you like that character, and they may treat that character differently as a result. Also, if that character, if you take it directly from one game to another, may seem horribly out of place. An example that I've borrowed from other people is the mysterious camel merchant, which I first saw mentioned on D4chan. Abdul and Crazy Abdul and his magnificent camels, where in the middle of a game, the party will come across a tent surrounded by camels, and this very enthusiastic man of Middle Eastern descent will come forward, warmly offering them fantastic deals on his camels, which can be hilarious if the group is a bunch of brooding space marines or completely inappropriate. It can be played up for laughs quite heavily. I've done that on a few occasions. The group will finally find Crazy Hassan, not Abdul, Crazy Hassan. Getting addled in my old age. It's not my character. I've borrowed it though, so it's just something I break out every now and again because I know 1 or 2 of my fellow players also see D4chan and recognize the character and have a laugh or two with me. But that wouldn't be, my most memorable character. My most memorable character is a type of character that I break out every now and again. And currently, my current favorite is a cleric of some sort, not a powerful one, but who talks with a rapid-fire Scottish accent. And my Scottish accent isn't great, but I can throw enough snarls into it to make it nearly unintelligible. And the thing is, this particular person says horrible things. For instance, in my mega dungeon, the Chimerical Dungeon of Fondlak, I have an abbot in the nearby orphanage who will constantly try to throw orphans at the party to serve as their torchbearers, and in the mean state that the environment is in, it is cursed and waiting for the players to unlock the dungeon and open up the potential of the frozen city of Fondlock. It also has, this curse has taken a toll on the abbot, who himself is not really a horrible person, but the curse has made him kind of this way. And as the party does better, he'll get to open up and actually be a powerful character of good, potentially. But as of right now, the group is kind of taken aback when they're like, "Hey, you want orphans? I got a load of them. You throw them in front of you, so when the dragon breathes, he scorches the orphan and you're fine." You know, horrible things. But, the player's just like, "Ooh, this." Now, on the flip side, I have at least one or two of this particular character that I use in my Warhammer 40,000 game, which is a dark dystopian future, in which case the Ministorum, which is the Church of the Imperium, has these abbots who have a great deal of sway over the minds and souls of the people. They also tend to orphans. So when the group of arbites, the judges and lawbringers of the Imperium, were sent to this planet, which the existing ones had all been killed, and this planet had been cut off for a while, so they came down, and the Ministorum came forward, and they're like, "Oh, you have a fortress, but you don't have anybody running it? Oh, I'll give you tons of orphans. I got kids lying all over the place. The people breed like rabbits. The good news is you can have them go and do things like, work on the power converters and everything, and you don't have to give them protective gear, because if they die, you got plenty more of them." Again, horrible things. But it fits that particular world because life is cheap. And I, every once in a while have to impress the fact that even though the players are good people, and sometimes almost inappropriately good, they genuinely don't want to hurt anybody. And the usual stereotype for these characters is that they're indifferent to the suffering of the people around them just as long as the overall Imperium stays intact. That's all they care about. So killing a couple of innocents along with the guilty is fine for them. These guys don't do that. I'm blessed with some players who have kind of a similar mindset to me, in that they want to do the right thing. They want to improve the world around their characters, and they generally have characters who mean well. Sometimes they will want to play the odd character who doesn't care and is more of an evil character, but for the most part, they have no problem playing heroic characters who do well and serve others and do well. But I have to give them a reminder that the world around them isn't like that. That other people do hold life in contempt, and sometimes it's the very people that you at least want to do that, and to our modern sensibilities are kind of, at the very least, creepy, if not deplorable. So, sometimes to bring that up, these characters will present themselves and their rather extreme outlooks, which they don't think twice about concealing, because it is kind of the feeling of the day. So, that has been my recurring character that I've mostly been hitting upon. If it gives me an excuse to break out my accent, I do like talking in the voices of my characters. Like I said, I'm not great at it. I sometimes wish that when I was in college and I had been doing theater, I would have worked more on voice. It might have been easier for me now, but I do okay. My players are sometimes amused, though, when my accent goes all over the place. And it's like, why are you talking in a French accent? You were doing Scottish. It's like, it drifts. Depending on how much I'm concentrating on rules, stats, my players, and then emoting as my character. So, but that's me. That's what it's like at my table. With one of the recurring characters that does come up. So, the Scottish cleric. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, pop on my YouTube, like and subscribe if you're already here. Lair of OmnusI on YouTube. I've got a lot of videos out if you want to see them, if you're interested in this role-playing hobby that I do love so much. Otherwise, I hope that I've entertained you and that you will come and see me tomorrow for another video, or go back and look at the other ones that I've already done. But every day through August we'll bring a new one of these. So thanks for putting up with me, and I will see you next time here at the Lair of OmnusI. Thank you, and farewell.